So it looks like we got something. Okay, there it is. We all know what this is. Stickers. Book for the Max Smasher. Max Smasher. So I know we're late to this video. That's because we're not special enough. Just FYI. We don't get these guys for free, and we kind of had to order it like everyone else. We've also got the white one on the way. Funny enough, we pre-ordered the white one on Amazon, and it still isn't here. So the blue one came first, so that's what we're going to show you. That's what the white one looks like. And like I said, I know there's a bunch of videos already out on this. Lucky for those guys to be able to show it. But yeah, you're here with me now, and I appreciate that. Man, this looks good, actually. I like the paint. You probably can't tell from the videos, but the paint looks really good. Hold on. So right off the bat, I just want to compare this guy. We got the Hot Wheels Race Team Monster Truck 1/25th scale AMT, and that is on our custom built truck that we did here. We've got a video on this guy right over there. And it's using majority of Injora parts, some Mini Z stuff for the ESC, the receiver, and the motor. It's all Mini Z. It's a FureTech Greyhound, and then some custom links we did. Injora tires, Injora chassis. These are Injora links, custom front links, and then FCX, FMS, FCX24 axles. And Injora shocks, custom little shock thing. Anyway, so this is using this AMT 25th scale, and they are very close in size. It's a little smaller, It's funny, the tires are bigger. Those are the Injoras compared to the FCX. I kind of like the thinner ones, but it feels a little more mud boggery. These feel more monster trucky. But again, it's going to look a little different proportions because these are bigger, plus the body's a little smaller. And with these being a little smaller and the body a little bigger, they just kind of, the proportions are a little different. So here, let's do this. Okay. Now, there's a big difference. This guy, here, I'll tell you how much right now. I'll tell you what this cost to build. Let me get over to my spreadsheet, because I keep tabs on every build we do. I know exactly how much was spent. FCX24 monster truck, right at $400. This is a $400 build. And that should be including, yeah, that includes the model kit body. Just wanted to make sure. I guess there's probably an extra $20 because of the links and stuff. When we bought that, we put down the price that we paid for them, not just the price, because you can build extra sets of links out of these. But yeah, either way, basically $375 to $400 is what this costs, plus a receiver. Well, no, the receiver's included. Sorry. Well, plus your transmitter. So whatever your transmitter costs is going to be in there as well. So transmitter plus $375, $400 got us this. But for just $160, you can be ready to run with a transmitter with the FCX24 platform, portal axles, monster truck tires, no foams in there. There's no foams. Not that you really need foams. It's not too heavy. It does feel good though. It feels bulky. Like it feels like there's some weight to it. The body's a little heavy. But it does feel quality. Again, FMS is known for scale, like having really good scale looking stuff. The quality of their scale stuff is very high. So they kind of try to balance scale and performance. The FCX24 platform itself is very good at performing. It's a high performance platform for crawlers. It looks like it's going to probably be the same for the monster truck. We've already seen a bunch of stuff on it, and it seems very good for a monster truck. Now, they are very different. The FCX Power Wagon or FCX Butcher, it comes with solid axles. This comes with an open diff, right? So it's a locked diff on the crawler. This is an open diff, so you can see we got that going on, right? That means it's not going to crawl well. I don't care how slow you go. You've got a 2-speed transmission, but you're never going to use that in this. You're always going to be in high speed. The slow speed is, you could try to crawl, but again, you've got an open diff, and it's probably going to roll, right? Like as you go up, if you let off the throttle, you're just going to roll backwards, right? It's not a worm gear. Even though the FCX24 Butcher is not a worm gear, it's a little bit better for crawling because it's a closed diff. The closed diff really is what matters here. This open diff makes it turn better. It's going to handle better while you're turning. You're not going to flip as often. Like if you're making a high-speed turn, a lot of times you end up flipping with a closed diff because the tires are locked, right? They're going the same speed no matter what. This, if you start to lift, it's going to slow down because your outside wheel will kind of let off and it'll spin, and your inside wheel will lose a little bit of power. So it helps slow it down. It just handles better, right? In race cars and everything, you have an open diff. Anyway, but everything else is pretty much the same on this guy. This is an FCX24 Butcher, but with metal. They're metal open diff and monster truck tires. Pretty awesome. Electronics are the same. Batteries the same. Motor, transmission, steering servo, shift servo. Portals, there are going to be metal portals in there. All the gears are metal. The transmission is still plastic, but the shocks, suspension links. I don't know why they keep saying it's a 4-link suspension. I actually messaged them about it. It is not a 4-link suspension. I don't care what you say and how you try to argue it. This is not a 4-link suspension. This is a 3-link suspension, but they say the engineers are arguing from a design standpoint, it's a 4-link suspension. It's not. I think they're talking about this, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what they're determining as a 4-link suspension, but that's not what a 4-link suspension is. 4-link is this. In one drivetrain half, 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-link. There's a single point here with your wishbone. That's a 3-link suspension. Okay. So they need to stop calling it that. I think it's very misleading. It's kind of false advertising, but it is what it is. Anyway, this body's sick, guys. Again, I want to kind of compare size. This is the 24 scale, and the bed looks really long on this guy. Looks a little longer than normal proportions, actually, but that's fine. It's a long bed. This is a short bed, maybe. I don't know. But the cab is very similar, very, very close. Now, once we have the bumper and lights and grills and stuff on there, it's going to project just a little more, but basically from there to there, it's about the same damn size. Just our bed is longer. Okay? So that's cool. I don't know what to say about it. Plug it in, ready to run, good to go, fun stuff. Smash them, crash them, bash them. Don't break the expensive parts. I love that they've got, so this was also a very smart design from FMS when it came to their chassis. They've got a mounting point here, 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 and here. So they can do all kinds of bodies. And people complain about this mounting system, but I love it. I think it's super easy to use, snaps right in there. It's a little harder on the Butcher for sure, but it's great for like the stock bodies, right? If you want to put these on aftermarket bodies, or you're going to use a Lexan or something along those lines, it's going to be a little more difficult for sure. But you can always pop these off, right? And just use these brackets as your mounting points, and then build up from there. Whatever you're going to put, magnets or body pins, whatever. Even build a hinge system if you wanted to, maybe this way. Right? I've seen somebody do that with the Butcher, so that would be very cool. Be cool if some companies offered aftermarket parts for that, so we didn't have to make them and 3D print them. Not all of us have 3D printers. I'm one that does not. So yeah, need more parts for these guys. There's a ton of aftermarket support for these already. I think we're just missing the mark on a few things, but overall, awesome trucks. We'll put a link in the description below if you want to pick one up. I think they're sold out right now on FMS as the time of filming this, but by the time you see this, they're probably available again. Also, Fair RC had some. They are still selling, but they ship out of China right now. But they mentioned within a couple weeks they're going to have another restock in the U.S. warehouse, from what I've heard. And then, yeah, there's a high-speed motor. We'll put a link to that in the description below. That's like a straight-up swap. Basically, you pull this motor out, plug in the new one, same size, fits, everything, and it's going to be night and day difference. What we're probably going to end up doing is trying to put in one of these cheapy $6 eBay motors. We're going to throw this in there. They're the same size can in diameter. They're just a little longer. You can see this. And the drive shaft is a lot longer. So we're going to have to cut that down and then get our pinion on there and throw this in there. And this should rip. I mean, it should absolutely rip. These little $6 motors are nutso. 2FMRC, Matt over there, he's the one that showed this to everybody. And yeah, these are going to be badass little motors for these trucks. I don't know what else to say. I'm excited. I want to go drive it. Here's the stuff that comes with it. We've already done a crazy, so if you want to see a very in-depth video on this platform, I'll link it over here as well. It's for the FCX24 Butcher Power Wagon, and we go in and do the same thing. Like I said, the main differences between what you'll see in that video are just going to be, they now come with metal portals. This is going to have an open diff, and it's metal, whereas on the Butcher, it's a plastic closed diff. And then that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. That's the only thing that's going to be different. And then the body, obviously. But everything else is going to be the exact same. So check out that video for sure. It's a long one, but it goes all the way. It is super in-depth. don't know what else to say about it, guys. We're excited to drive this little guy. Looks like they're starting to cut corners a little on their packaging. I mean, it's still styrofoam, same thing, but the FCX Butcher comes with like a nice gray packaging container. Either way, it still works. Same thing. I don't care if they're cutting corners on that as much, as long as they keep making quality these. The box still looks awesome. Check that out. Great artwork. It kind of reminds me of the Tamiya, old Tamiya artwork. Super cool. Again, it's available in 2 colors. We have a white one coming as well. Here's some option parts. You know, it talks about different tires. This differential, it's a closed differential, the metal differential, high-speed motor. Their track unit still hasn't come out yet, so we're waiting on that. You know, metal drive shafts, aluminum links, metal drive gears, a heat sink. They do have a heat sink, aluminum shock absorbers, and then brass wheels, or brass counterweights. Sorry, wheel counterweights and aluminum wheels. So, and there's more than this out there. Tons of aftermarket support. But yeah, cool. Very, very cool. One of the things we noticed is we mentioned this when we got another more recent FCX24. We got the black Grim Reaper from FairRC. They're using clear ESC cases now. I don't know if something's changed in there, but it's different now. Can we plug this guy in? Bam. I do like the way they've got the power switch positioned. Again, for ease of use, for somebody, if this is your first RC, this is amazing, right? Like, how amazing is this as a first basher RC? Little monster truck. 160 bucks, ready to go, easy to deal with, performs great. I mean, you just can't go wrong with that. So this is what comes with it. We've got our charger. I'd highly recommend just getting a good new charger. Let's see what else we got going on here. Hold on. Looks like there's a new tool in here. Oh, nice. They've included O-rings and some larger O-rings, small and large O-rings. I don't think those came with the Butcher, so that's good. And then some shock spacers to help preload your shocks. And closed diffs. So these are the plastic diffs that come with the FCX Butcher. And that is actually pretty awesome. So if you wanted to convert this to a monster truck, and basically it's the same. So it's the same. It's like $10 more than the Butcher for this thing. And you get metal open diffs and this awesome body, right? And the monster truck tires. So exclude the body, right? Let's say you prefer the Butcher look, or say you're going to swap the body anyway. A lot of times people swap the body anyway. You got monster truck tires and the normal diffs it comes with, plus the metal open diffs. And if you'd rather just have a crawler, and usually on the Butcher, people end up swapping out the wheels and tires anyway. So you're basically, if you want to make a crawler and you're going to swap out the body, or you like this body, and you're going to swap out the wheels and tires, all you got to do for $10 more, you got these open diffs. Then you can go with the plastic ones if you want. Pretty cool. So you can run it as a monster truck the way it is for a little while. If you get bored with it, basically you paid $10 to have fun with that and get some metal diffs that you could lock, right? Like if you don't want to use these plastic ones, you can lock up your metal diffs. And there are ways to do that. And then you've got metal closed diffs for $10, plus this awesome body and an extra set of tires that are monster truck for maybe a different monster truck build someday. I don't know. It's a pretty good deal. $10 more than the Butcher. I feel like you're getting more value here, especially with the metal open diffs. And then they also include the plastic ones anyway, so it's like the same damn thing. This little extra tool here, this is to get in there and get your hexes off, because this tool probably does not reach. So they include a new tool, so that's nice. I always like to get these. We got a bunch of them, right? But it's kind of cool when you have them. You can throw one in a bag. If you don't, if you're just taking a truck with you, just throw it in your pocket, just in case something gets loose. Also, we've taken some of those and dremelled them down to get the sidewall real thin so that it'll fit into really tight places. For some trucks, wheels have like the nuts or the bolts are like real tight pattern, and so you can't fit stuff on there. So we've been able to take just one of those cheapy ones versus using our good tool and dremel it down and get it so it's real thin walled, so it'll fit between those other nuts and whatnot, screws. Anyway, so that's what it comes with extra. Nothing too crazy, but it is cool. You got an extra set of these, especially if you've already got a Butcher and maybe you ended up destroying them or stripping them. You got a backup set. $10. Then we got the remote or the transmitter. It's the exact same as all the others. Go ahead and turn this guy on. Got batteries in there. Let's go ahead and turn this guy on. We're already on. That's already on. Oh, look at that. Okay. Check out our transmission. They actually allowed us to have neutral. Thank goodness they listened. So there was a point, and we mentioned this in some of our videos, where that shift transmission, or that it's not even the servo, it's the ESC receiver. It actually locks you out. So you only have a front and a back. You don't have a 3-position. So if you wanted to do rear wheel steering, you actually could not do it very easily out of the box. And only some of them did it, not all of them. And I guess the engineers at one point decided they didn't want people to think that the truck wasn't working. Okay, so they didn't want to have the neutral. So they basically locked it out. I do have a video on how to adjust that. If you have one of those trucks and you're trying to do rear wheel steering or use it as a winch, so you got a forward, stop, and a reel in, reel in your winch. So there is a way to adjust it, but it doesn't always work, but it's pretty good. I've not had any issues with it. I've only heard of like 1 or 2 people where they couldn't get it to adjust enough to be able to work, but everybody else seems to get it to work with that. But it's not as good as this, where it's just the way it's supposed to be. It's a 3-position switch. Then this channel 4 is a binary. You push it and hold it, and it'll, if you have a servo hooked up to that channel 4, it'll switch the servo to one side. Like if I push and hold, it'll zzz. If I push and hold again, it'll go zzz. But there is no center. It's just a 1, 2. That's what channel 4 is. We actually use that for our transmission on a lot of the trucks where we'll put a rear wheel steering. So we'll put our 2-speed on that. So we just hold it and it'll shift into 2-speed. And then we can use this for rear wheel steering independent of the front. Okay. See, this is why you can't crawl with these. Look at that. You see that? See, look at that. This wheel's spinning, but that wheel over there is not spinning. And this wheel's not spinning, but that back wheel over here is spinning. This is why it's not good for crawling. Open diffs are not for crawling. So it's not a crawler, guys. Not a crawler. It's a monster truck. There's our lights. We'll hold. Actually, can we just click it? There we go. And click through all the different light settings. There's like 5. You can check out the videos on the electronics for the lights. So it's a dual purpose. You click through for lights, and then you click and hold to actually change the channel 4 on a servo. Let's go drive it. So it looks like you actually, from the box, the dual rate's turned down pretty heavily. There you go. You might not want to crank it all the way, but your dual rate is right here. Don't forget, if you just want the forward and backward, just with no brake, that's this right here, this first switch. If you turn this switch, it comes like this, it comes off, which means you have forward, but then the next, when you hit reverse, forward, reverse is brake. And then you have to let go and hit reverse again to go forward. Brake, and then let go, and then reverse. But if you flip that switch up, now you just got forward, reverse. Okay? All right, so this little guy, it's pretty fun. It's a blast. I think it's definitely worth the money. I kind of wish I would like to pay $10 more and have it come with the high-speed motor. It's a little slow, just a little bit, but I guess it gives us the opportunity to upgrade. Again, for the price, you can't complain. It's a blast. And talk about an awesome Christmas gift for a kid that's into monster trucks, or an adult that's into monster trucks. $160. Again, you can't go wrong. The quality and the detail is just, it's too good. It's too good. And it performs well. It's a fun, I mean, the diff's smooth. There's like no slop. It's got good weight to it. It's high quality. There's a lot of plastic, but it's like super high quality plastic. Even our little crappy steering link here seems to be a little better than the FCX. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just my imagination, but it's fine. Like, it's not ideal. It's not aluminum, but I mean, it works. And again, I think they did the steering link like that to act as a servo saver, right? Because you've got your servo horn, and if you're to hit something real hard, it's not going to break your servo, right? At least it only flexes. It doesn't break the servo. And the steering is fine. It's not like it's sloppy. So, I don't know. Works fine for me. If that were a stiff plastic, it'd probably break, or you'd break the servo. And you definitely don't want to be breaking the servo. So, again, for like a kid, somebody's first little monster truck to bash around, it's amazing. So, anyways, check them out, guys. We got links in the description, all that good stuff. If you don't want to buy from me, that's totally fine. It doesn't cost you anything to use my links, though, and it does help support the channel so that we can buy stuff like this to show you guys. If we can't buy it, we can't show you. So, trying to make sure that we keep the new stuff coming, but it gets hard sometimes. So, if you can use the links, that'd be awesome. All right, guys, get out there, smash them, crash them, bash them, but don't break the expensive parts.